The Jurong East Stadium, the site of a change of leadership last night when Albrecht Negata drew with the Lion City Sailors in the 2022 AIA Singapore Premier League, and it might be the scene for the latest switch at the top as well if Tanjong Pagar United draw or win against Geylang International in our featured match today from the west of Singapore. So these two sides facing up with one another for the 40th time in the Singapore Premier League. We'll have more of that for you in a while. Right now, though, we can take a look at the fixtures that are here for match week number 4. And, well, we don't have that on our screens for the moment, but I can tell you that this match is going side by side with Balestier Khalsa, and they're playing against the Young Lions. So the switch at the top of the table sees Albrecht leading only by goal difference against TP United, but all that can change if Tanjong Pagar United draw, and they'll move 1 point ahead, but a win will stretch their lead to 3 points at the summit. And who could tell, of course, by the day's end that they would go in with a 3-point lead before the international matches. Let's have a listen to what their coach Hasrin Jailani thinks of all this.
Same as all the other games that we played. Definitely we are going for a win as well today. So to keep the momentum going, that's the most important thing before the 2 weeks break. So for us, we just need to keep going and get as many points as possible.
How are you setting up your team tactically?
There will be a few changes today. Shoda is out due to COVID. We'll rest Amri. Shukri will take his place. Naufal will take Shodai's place on the right. And then Fato won't be playing. Faizal Rafi will be playing. So basically, there's 3 changes from the last game that we played. Yeah.
How will your backline cope with the threat from the likes of Simi Zuzu?
We knew that the Geylang team for this year, Simi Zuzul, is a threat for us. We treat this just as any other game. Not much changes that we are doing actually. So we just stay focused and try to control because he's play on form. Yeah.
Good. The boy has stayed. The players has been positive. Even not collecting point against Hougang. We have worked toward this game. I think it's a very important game for us after losing to Hougang. Definitely we want to go out there and try to get the 3 points.
You face the only unbeaten side in the league today. Where do you think you can exploit Tanjong Pagar in order to get a positive result?
I mean, it's been a very good start for Tanjong Pagar. Excellent, I think they have very good teamwork. They're excellent working together. I think it's going to be a very Royal Rumble game tonight. Especially with you have people like Blake and Mirko in the middle of the field. 2 very physical guys. I think of course we have worked something out on how to penetrate them, knowing that defensively they are very strong, but also saying that they'll be able to score goals, and they have scored goals against Balestier and even Albrecht. So. It'll be interesting to see how they come out today, but we have some plans that we have done, and hopefully we can carry out tonight. Yeah.
Are there any major changes in your lineup today?
Nope. I mean, basically, only one change. I mean, I didn't start Ahmad Shahir today. Start Faizal. I mean, knowing the physical game that is going to be with Tanjong Pagar, and a lot of high balls that we need to challenge with their good height and physical. Definitely, there's only one change we have done, and definitely, hopefully, the boys can come out with a good result tonight.
So the words of Noor Ali, then there's always spice and it's always feisty when these two sides face one another. Shasi Kumar, and I believe that there might be a physical battle going on at the Jurong East Stadium because he used those words, Royal Rumble, which only means one thing. He's expecting and he's probably also going to return the favor with a very physical battle.
I think you're very right, and you know, you expect like a wrestling match, not football match, the way he talked about it there. But yeah, you're right, and it's a good point that he raised. You know, they are very physical side. We're talking about Tanjong Pagar, so he's gotten Faisal Roslan in there to sit at left back and to challenge for those aerial balls as well. So that's a sign of what is to come, obviously, and you know. Hazrin as well spoke about Sime Zuzul. I mean, how do you stop him? And I think they can't play high up the pitch. You know, they've got to sit back a little and play safe and play a little bit deeper than usual.
Well, Hasrin Jailani sounded very positive, so too Noor Ali, and you'd have to understand why, because these two sides have made very encouraging starts to the season. Tanjong Pagar United, the only unbeaten side in the SPL this year. I mean, if someone's going to tell you after 3 match days there'll be one unbeaten side, I'm sure Tanjong Pagar is going to be the last name on everyone's lips, but here they are, still yet to face defeat.
Yeah, who would have thought that they would be up there, unbeaten as well, and amazing stat there. And they are unbeaten in the last 6 matches as well, going back to last season. So yeah, they are a physical side, but they can play ball as well, and they've got some players who are capable of playing good football. As well. Mirko Sugic has come in this year, the Croatian, and he has done absolutely brilliantly as well. And in Blake Ricciotto today and Faisal Rafi, they're going to be very physical in the middle of the park to challenge Bezgor and Tezuka in the middle for Geylang.
Well, you talked about it. You're absolutely right. 6 unbeaten till from the end of last season to the start of this season, which is their longest unbeaten run in the SPL since 2001. And that was the year, of course, where Geylang last won the title. And when they last won the title, these two coaches, Hasrin Jailani and Noor Ali, were in the Geylang side. So these two managers have been intertwined with their careers throughout the years. And you have to see that both are 46 in age this year. And the number 35 hangs over them this match as well. Hasrin Jailani in his 35th game in charge for Tanjong Pagar United. Noor Ali looking for his 35th win as Geylang international manager. It's two players that you played with in your career as well, Shasi.
Yeah, played with and worked with them as well. And listen, great guys. And you got to give props to both of them. You know, we talk about Tanjong Pagar, first year in 2 years ago, didn't win a single game. And then last season made so much progress, winning a couple of games. And then this season started so well. And of course, Geylang, I think they've come into this season as underdogs. You know, I think there was some criticism of the way things were handled last season, but listen, they've been great this season, right? The first win against LCS, and then last week they were, in my opinion, a little bit unlucky to lose, of course, through that brilliant goal. But yeah, you know, I think both these sides are looking good this season.
There we go, the aforementioned Hasrin Jailani, and it's all about sticking to your coach. No matter what happens, no matter what the results, they stuck with him, and here he is now. He took 17 games to win his first match as manager of Tanjong Pagar, and then he won 7 of the next 17. So, you know, that's what it feels like. You stick with a coach, you stick with a football philosophy, and you stick with players who believe in these coaches. And Noor Ali is another one in his second spell in Geylang International. We can have the lineups for you now. We don't have it on our screen here. I hope you're watching it, and I hope you're seeing it clear. It's Geylang's lineup with Zaiful Nizam in goal, Fadli Kamis, Abdel Kayim, Rio Sakuma and Faisal Roslan in the back line, and then in midfield Tezuka Aziz protecting the back line with the 3 of Hairi, Bezakor and Halim complementing Sime Zuzul up front. And this is the team spirit that has been built by Noor Ali, and a team spirit that really has kicked on after their victory against Lion City Sailors in the opening match.
Exactly, the team is playing together, and they're playing as a team as well. You know, I think in terms of organization, they know when to press, when to hold back, and team shape has been brilliant. And in Zaiful Nizam, they've got a very good goalkeeper as well.
The referee is Akasha, and I can tell you the Tanjong Pagar lineup has Shafan Rohaizad in goal. The back 3 remain of Raihan Rahman, Sharon Sabrin and Farid Hamid. In midfield, Faisal Rafi takes the place of Fatullah Rahmat. Blake Ricciotto is there. Mirko Sugic just in front of them. The wing backs, Kari Abdullah, Naufal Ilham has come in to replace Shodai Nishikawa. Shukri Bashir start ahead of Khairul Amri up front, and Rio Nishiguchi, their top scorer with 3 goals in 3 matches. He is the main main man up front. It's going to be an interesting and intriguing battle, especially in midfield. We're talking about Sugic and Bezakor, two guys who really have had such a wonderful start to their SPL careers. And then you have the fetch and carry and the physical roles of Ricciotto versus Tezuka. This is going to be very interesting.
And they're pretty similar as well in the middle of the park, right? 3 against 3, Blake, Faisal and Sugic against Bezakor, Huzaifa and Tezuka as well. So it's going to be a battle royal in the middle of the park, and you just do feel that if there is a team that's going to take control of the middle of the park, I think we'll see it through this game.
Well, we talked about it earlier on in the 40th meeting. This is one of the oldest rivalries in Singapore football. You'd have to say, you don't have to be embarrassed, Shasi, of knowing the likes of Geylang and Tiong Bahru back then in the mid-70s into the early 80s, where they dominated even at the start of the SPL seasons as well.
Exactly, and you know, Tanjong Pagar, they were a great team in the past, as well as with the SAF FC, with the Warriors as well, and this team Geylang, right, they won the league as well in, I can't remember the
96 and
96, yeah, you know, so yeah. Great past, great history, but they are looking to challenge for the present and, of course, for the future as well.
Well, for Tanjong Pagar United, this fixture hasn't made for good reading. Of the previous 39 times they've met each other, they've only won 3 times. Tanjong Pagar, believe it or not, just the 3 times against Geylang. They did win their last encounter by 4 goals to 2, and they're looking for 2 wins in a row versus Geylang for the very first time, as that ball's launched very long, so they're looking already for those high balls in the early stages, something that No Ali has said, and probably he's expecting. There's Sekuma, and there's Geylang defense that really held so firm and so well against the Lion City Sailors in the opening match, but then went to sleep. They went to 1.5 games of football without conceding a goal. Conceded 3 in 18 minutes against Hougang last week. Had Huzaifa, who gave away a penalty last week with the ball outside to Faisal Roslan, who's been playing as a centre-back side by side with this man on the ball. Sakuma has been put into a more wing-back role for this match, just to deal with the physicalities and the long balls that Noali's expecting. That was hit very long and almost caught on the half volley by Hazwan. So already early in the game, Shasi, we've seen the ball stay in the air quite some time.
Yeah, I think they don't want to be just playing out from the back and making a mistake at the back. So, you know, safety first at the moment.
Sime Zuzul's first touch was to evade a marker, but another one comes right in. So it's probably a double team on Sime Zuzul for this match. And we don't blame them for that either. Well, last week it was almost like a competition between these two teams as to who could concede 3 goals in the least number of minutes, because it was 18 minutes where Geylang conceded 3, and then Balestier, or should I say, Tanjong Pagar went one better by conceding 3 in 9 minutes.
Yeah, we talk about defensive frailties. I think both these sides are a little bit suspect at the back.
Ricciotto, once again, ball spending a lot of time in the air. Sugic, we've talked about what a great start he's made to his SPL career. That's a very clever ball played inside by Bezakor. And came off the boot of Farid Hamid, who has reinvented himself by playing in the back line, but it's a back line that is very fluid and flexible from Hasrin Jailani, with those 2 centre-backs beside the sweeper being able to bomb forward and help out to the wing-backs. Farid has decided to toe-poke it away, looking for the figure of Nishiguchi. Tezuka, not the most convincing of touches. Sugic almost lapped up on it and ate it up. Here is Tezuka once again with a more sure touch this time. A great ball played inside by Fadli Kamiz just to release him. Tezuka's got space available on the outside in Faisal Roslan, who had to track back in order to keep possession of the ball. Once again, the pass out to him wasn't the best. But here come the Geylang players with Khairul Hairi trying to make inroads in the middle. Not the best, almost convincing of clearances from Jafan Rohaizat. Abdul Qaim starting for the first time this season. To Fadli. Huzaifa. The space available on the outside for Faisal Roslan. Once again, Tezuka available. It's a wonderful switch, isn't it, to Hazwan. Available yet again. Always on the outside, making the pitch as wide as possible. And here he is trying to open up the angles for a cross inside, which he delivered last week for Sime Zuzul's first goal for Geylang International. It's a very good spell this for Geylang in the opening stages of the game. That one swung in, easy for Jafan Rohaizat, but they've started on the front foot, haven't they, the Eagles?
A very good start for Geylang, keeping possession of the ball. And these two guys here, Huzaifa and Tezuka, very impressive in the first two games. Obviously, we spoke about Huzaifa giving away that crucial penalty, but in possession and in general play, they've been very good so far.
Tezuka, his spatial awareness is just really next to no one in the league. It's so very impressive to watch. It's Khairul, still Khairul, trying to open up the angle for the shot. The tackle does come in, and it's a very good one by Raihan, but still the effort gets going in the form of Bezakor. He's already scored a screamer this year, and trying to find a room and an angle which never came for him.
A very positive start from the youngster Khairul Hairi there. Almost got tackled, did get stopped halfway, but then Bezakor took over. Good shot, but don't really think he caught it cleanly there.
Almost a fortuitous cross in the end for Sime Zuzul, who was lurking. And Sime Zuzul's a player who has scored goals 3 and 2 against Tanjong Pagar last year. And Jafan Rohaizat, a clean sheet against Abrex Nagata, which was his first in 28 matches. It's a long searching ball by Farid into a pocket where only Geylang players exist. And it's Abdul Qaim who comes away with it. Second spell for Geylang International. Sakuma. It's a rather heavy touch that time by Khairul, but Sime Zuzul has rescued the situation. Sugic using his strength, verve, skill and ability on the ball. Took 3 to take it off him. Well, he is one of those players that's so very hard to shake off, is he?
Yep, and Fandi Kamis did very well. They got to give him credit, sticking by his task and winning the ball off him.
Here's Khairul Hairi, another heavy touch from the youngster. It's the figure of Sharin Sabri, who is struggling at the moment. He went into that little scuffle with Sime Zuzul earlier on, and hasn't been able to shake this off. He did score in this fixture as a Geylang player, Sharin, back in 2020, a match which finished 2-1 for Geylang. And here he is against his former club. It might be curtains by the looks of things. Physio's on, and he's looking at the referee and saying it might be the end of his match.
Yeah, it looks like his left calf or shin. Don't exactly know what it is, but doesn't look good at the moment.
There certainly was contact with Zuzul, who's almost coming over now to cast a very concerned glance. And Zuzul's also moving a little gingerly after that challenge which Noah Alam Shah is very much accustomed through his years in the Singapore Premier League. He used to leave tons of defenders in his wake and in his trail over the years. Here he is as a team manager of Tanjong Pagar United. What has been a fabulous start to the season for them. Zuzul does keep this ball in play, flicks it inside very cleverly. Oh, the ball just wouldn't sit, I believe, for Bezakor as he took that on. But that's the value that Sime Zuzul brings to the team.
Yeah, used his body very well here. And look at this intelligent ball that was played inside for Bezakor. Good first touch, perfect first touch. And you got to say, Sugic did well to just close him down a little, put him off. Couldn't keep the ball on target.
It's a battle that we're talking about, Sugic against Bezakor, which would make for very compelling viewing. And it's already started in this game with Sugic having to drag himself back to do some defensive work. It's so very hard to pick out, of course, Vincent Bezakor, a Frenchman who's been playing most of his career in the NCAAs in the USA. Here is Sugic. It's a challenge which was crunching. Couldn't get anything out of it. Great improvisation in terms of the shot. Not enough power, though, to defeat Zaiful.
Yeah, good cross, good work from Akari down the left-hand side. Got a little bit lucky from that ricochet of Fadli Khamis. This one here, and then very good ball on the half volley. And, keeper did well there. Positioning was good enough.
Shukri Bashir was the player who hooked it towards Zaiful Nizam. Of course, was defeated by a goal from the halfway line last week. It's something that he won't want to be talking about for a long time now. But he's enjoyed playing against Tanjong Pagar through the years. He's kept more clean sheets against Tanjong Pagar than any other side that he's faced in his SPL career. It's rolled into space cleverly for the run of Fadli. Just a clip on the ankle. It might be the first booking of the match. It is. And it goes to Akari Abdullah, who was chasing back, tried to reach in for it, just a little late. And now Geylang have a free kick in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, nicely played down the right-hand side for Fadli Khamis. A marauding run from right back. And Akari had no choice but to bring him down. He knew what he was doing there. He's just saying it was his very first tackle. It doesn't matter.
So we've seen Bezakol already deliver these delicious dead ball situations, not just free kicks, but also corners, which are floated towards the goalkeeper for the on-rushing players to attack. These very dangerous crosses to deal with. And the likes of Sime Zuzul right in the box now, trying to feast on this. Tezuka's there as well. Sugic needed back as a defensive cover, and he is keeping a very close eye on Zuzul. Let's see what Betancourt will serve up. It is flicked all the way to the far post and almost miscom at the back, but no one touched it in the end. And it's a goal kick to Tanjong Pagar.
Yeah, just a little bit too deep, overplayed there from Betancourt. Ball just going past everyone. In the end, a little bit easy for Tanjong Pagar.
Well, we mentioned earlier on, just last year was their first win against Geylang in 9 years for Tanjong Pagar United. 4 goals to 2 they won in that match. First time they scored 4 against Geylang. And every time they've won a match against Geylang, they failed to score in the following meeting. And at the moment of this game, it looks as if Geylang look comfortable and look the more likely to score the opening goal, because they have been the more dominant side.
Yeah, especially playing out from the back, they've been very good. They've used the pivot man in Tezuka very well as well. So they've controlled that part of the pitch.
Zuzul just biting into that challenge. Faisal Rafi was very brave in getting his boot onto that ball. Sakuma defeated, of course, by Shukri, who used his body well. It's run out of room and run out of options. Faisal in the end with a recovering tackle to ensure that Naufal didn't get enough space to swing across in. And Faisal Roslan, who was on loan last year from the Lion City Sailors, has continued that loan spell. Richiuto did it unfairly. Zaiful Nizam and Abdel Kaim. Fadli Khamis has had time to move up on quite a number of occasions, just bombing forward. And that time, though, his options were just cut off as Akari came closing down on him.
Yeah, good closing down from the left back or left wing back Akari, but it was a good organization as well, knowing when to press. Did it ever so well.
Here is Faritz against his former club. That's very strong work by Tezuka, but just as dogged was Akari, who took contact, went down. Very smart.
A good play from Akari there, never gave up, and then unnecessary foul by Hazwan Halim. And he knew it as well as soon as he gave it away.
You could almost see the face of Akari there saying, "Touch me, someone just touch me," and Hazwan just fell right into that trap. It's a veteran's play from Akari Abdullah, earning a free kick in a very dangerous position, and now Zuzul's needed back to guard Sugic. As that battle ensues as we search for the opening goal of the game. It's delivered close to the goalkeeper. Zaiful Nizam did very well to keep his eye on the ball. So too did Abdel Kayem to clear the danger.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper and the defense did just enough there to get there in front of their man. A combination of Abdil and Zaiful.
So after being under siege in the opening 10 minutes, Tanjong Pagar United slowly coming out of their shells and showing some bite in the offensive front. Ricciotto did well to use his body, but there wasn't support for him in the box. That clearance has turned into a very good pass to Khairul, who's found a clever ball behind the back line for Sime Zuzul. Flag has stayed down. Sime Zuzul continues. And that is a super ball that spread outside. Not the best of finishes, though, with that opportunity actually to take it first time, but he didn't. I believe it might have been the youngster Khairul Hairi.
That was a brilliant take down the left-hand side in the first part, and then the ball played for Zuzul. Did ever so well and didn't catch it cleanly here. Hairi there. A disappointing shot in the end. That was a good counter-attack from Geylang.
Geylang with more shots at goal in the opening stages of this game, but none yet troubling the goalkeeper Jafan. In fact, both goalkeepers have been very quiet and trouble-free as Nishiguchi ran out of space. Haven't seen him much on the ball. Ryo Nishiguchi scored in that 4-2 win last year for Tanjong Pagar. Sekuma, yet again, loads of room opening up for Fadli Kamis, who has owned this flank in the opening stages. Khairul Hairi couldn't get the better of Akari, who's had a lot more to do defensively than he has trying to move forward, which he much prefers. Touch was just a little loose by Huzaifa. Free kicks given away.
Yeah, it's been a little scrappy in the last 5 minutes or so. And Huzaifa there, typical of what has happened the past 5 minutes, just couldn't keep control of the ball. Now Ricciotto there, not happy with the just stayed away that Blake.
Well, we did say that it usually gets feisty between these two sides, and Ricciotto, I guess, just to probably wake his teammates up and the best alarm clocks, just to create a fracas just like that to wake the team up. He does love playing against Geylang. Ricciotto, his debut goal in the SPL was scored against them, and his debut goal for Tanjong Pagar United was scored against them as well after 17 minutes. Sugic coming in with an all-important challenge to ensure that Khairul didn't get further forward. Tezuka, every time he has the ball, it seems as if time just freezes.
Yeah, has the ability to hold on to the ball and then very aware of what's going on around him. But at the moment, so scrappy in the middle.
And Farid Hamid, who has reinvented himself, as we said earlier on, as a centre-back these days and captain of the club as well. Sime Zuzul backing and backing until he wins that one. Ricciotto happy to clear it anyway. Tezuka knew exactly where that ball was going, so he stood at the right place, right time, couldn't get the return pass from Huzaifa. Sugic now, chance to spin and create. Akari all the way back to Farid, putting his laces right through it, asking Nishiguchi to do something about it, but he can't because he was in an offside position.
Yeah, I think he was coming from an offside position, and Abdil didn't know. He had to get it right with the header.
Zuzul can't get away from the challenge of Sharin Sabrin. Seems to have shaken off that early knock. The ball's a very good one. If it's kept in play, it is. Hazwan. He's momentarily switched flanks with Khairul Hairi. Crosses deep, and it's totally misjudged by Akari, but offside though. Khairul. Young Lions have taken the lead against Balestier Khalsa at the Tua Payoh Stadium, so the leaky defense of the Tigers have reared its ugly head again.
Yeah, the last thing that Balestier would want is to go behind again. Not really the best of season so far, at least.
Sugic always knew that he had support behind him. Nishiguchi was there, but that flick on went way too far. Bezecourt always knows that Zuzul's playing on the shoulder of the last man. So that hopeful punt was just hit with a bit too much juice and took it all the way to Jarfan. I know of some referees who will allow that, but was he jumping into? Yeah, it's a free kick.
Just trying his luck there, Zuzul, but yeah, it's a foul.
So everything that the coaches talked about, the physicality, the bullying in midfield, everything that they've come to expect is at the moment coming true. It's been a scrap. The creative players like Sugic haven't had the opportunity to reign supreme yet. Ricciotto. Akari trying to open up the angle for the cross. It takes a deflection. It's easily headed away by Kaim. Here's Farid. Just drilling it wide, but Shukri had gone inside. And the momentum of the attack totally lost and dissipated. Zuzul, yet again a very heavy touch on a pitch which can be very unforgiving. Ooh, right into the back. They've asked for a free kick, but the referee says you got the ball. Let's play the advantage now. Sime Zuzul. Challenge was a very good one. Raihan Rahman, I believe, came sliding in with that. They've asked for offside. Well, finally the flag does go up because Nishiguchi decided to get involved to that.
At the moment, both defenses coming out tops. Very tight at the back. You just probably need a special moment from a special person to open the defense up.
This man certainly does provide it. Bezecourt, for Geylang at least, shown themselves to be very resilient at the back and very well organized. All of those have been on display in the early stages of this game against Tanjong Pagar, who've had no joy every time the ball's flung forward. And here's another one that's flung into no man's land.
Yeah, Blake Ricciotto there wanted the runner down the left-hand side, and he knows that it wasn't a good ball anyway.
He's had to make one save already, Zaiful Nizam, and that's the closest we've come to a goal. And Shukri Bashir acrobatically hooked it towards goal, but too close to him. And on the other end, despite all the openings carved up by Geylang in the early minutes, shots going wide by Bezecourt. Jafan Rohaizat hasn't had a save to make yet. Mike now with Hazwan on the ball. Sime Zuzul has stationed himself just in front of the goalkeeper. The ball's rolled inside. It's a very clever one as well to Bezecourt, who's taken more shots than anybody else on the pitch. That's hasn't found his target and hasn't found his shooting boots yet.
Yeah, superb ball there. Reverse ball in, played for the running Bezecourt. He did well to take it first time. Well blocked in the end. This was the ball from Hazwan, former Young Player of the Year.
So free kick for Tanjong Pagar. And Sharfan, so far so good for him. Sugic attacking another one. It's hung up in the air. This time he doesn't get to it, but he wouldn't mind because it goes out for a throw to his teammates. Farid. Ricciotto got lucky with the deflections. Gains yards in the throw. And Farid certainly has the arm power to launch this one inside the box. Here is Farid in a more familiar role, bombing down the flanks, but not the best of passes. Bezecourt took that one down superbly well. Sime Zuzul's gone on a run now, and he stays onside. Very clever running by Sime Zuzul. Needs help, needs support inside the box. Only found Bezecourt there, but he was at the far post. It's going to be a free kick. Sugic dived in for the ball, which he was never going to win. He gets booked for that, and it's a free kick given away in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, in the initial play, the support was a little bit too slow in coming, and Sugic there, definitely a foul on Azwan. Yellow card for his troubles as well. A very dangerous position here, obviously with Bezecourt in there, Tezuka in there as well.
And Tezuka scored a real solid goal last week when he struck. We thought that was the goal of the match until seconds later Moritz decided to take matters into his own hands from kickoff. So Tezuka lines this one up. I just have a feeling it's just tailor-made for the left peg of Bezecourt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Both players looking as if they're going to attack the ball. It's Tezuka in the end. Oh, well, I tell you what, it was dipping. There was a lot of topspin behind it, and Zafan Rohaizat was very alert.
Yeah, good footwork there from Zafan. Moved to his left, and in the end, he did well to just palm it away. Was it going in or out? It's very difficult to tell from here, but good effort.
It's great technique, isn't it, from Tezuka? Using his laces, but still able to almost ping it off the ground. Bezecourt to take this. Delivery's a very good one. Zafan Rohaizat was struggling, but there wasn't any player there at the far post to actually pick up on that delivery.
Yep, Zafan was struggling there to get that from the cross from Bezecourt.
So pendulums swinging either way, but no team able to wrestle huge control of the game so far. What has been a very scrappy affair with very few goal-scoring opportunities. It's a fixture that really has signaled how both sides have made fascinating positive starts of the season. Bezecourt, well, he saw one go against his own goalkeeper last week, so he decides to try one from that range as well. This time, though, lacks the elevation or the power to beat Jarfan. Tezuka anywhere would do as long as it was hooked away. Ricciotto, that's a very clever ball to Nishiguchi. Oh, took that one superbly. That was very clever, that strike. And enterprising himself, someone who just needed to get the cobwebs out of the way and just take a shot from anywhere.
Yeah, good first touch and then set himself up for that right-footed shot. But you're right about that earlier ball from Blake. Ricciotto took it early, very intelligent ball.
Clever turn yet again from Bezecourt, almost freeing up Zuzul, chasing after that loose touch by Farid. But then goes sprinting back to position now, allowing Tezuka time on the ball. Just warned his teammate Huzaifa that there was Shukri just behind him. Another super ball freeing up Fadli Kamis. Can he keep this in play? He does, with some interest too. Faisal. Huzaifa, Tezuka always available for the pass. So that little pivot in midfield. Bezecourt, who's been heavily involved in this game. Everything good has come through that creativity of the Frenchman. Khairul's cross deflected and easy into the arms of Zarfan.
Yeah, the Tezuka there in the middle of the park. I think Tanjong Pagar need to push someone on him, because at the moment he's controlling play in the middle for Geylang. Able to pick out his passes.
Nishiguchi's touch turned out into a very good pass for the opponents. And he chased it down just to ensure that there isn't a ball played down the line by Fadli. It's one of those days where it's hot, humid. Probably will affect the players who would welcome the second half more than the first. And perhaps the pace of play hasn't been as frenetic in this game as we've seen in other matches in the SPL because of the weather.
I think you're right, Mark, and I think we've been so pampered the past 2 weeks and last night as well. A couple of great games and great goals as well.
So half an hour played and it's still goalless here. Two best opportunities coming the way of Tanjong Pagar, you'd have to say. Just the one save for Zarfan to make, but Tanjong Pagar with Shukri's effort and Nishiguchi's half chance, which was taken on the bounce from long range, almost defeating Zaiful. As one, Tezuka always available, always asking for the ball. Bezakwa, I don't know where he gets the energy from, but he's been all over and he's always finding Zuzul. Yet again double teamed. Here's Tezuka, this typical nonchalant way whenever he has the ball, as opposed to the very busy Bezakwa. Tried to drop it behind the back line with some backspin, but just invited Zarfan to come out to claim it.
And not a bad idea that, especially with Hazwan making inroads down the left-hand side, making good runs.
Qayyim kept his eye on the ball just to clear it when it falls to a Tanjong Pagar player. Richioto's ball behind the back line, just asking questions of Fadli. His first touch was heavy, but he rescued the situation to prevent the corner. I don't know how often Vincent Bezakwa gets to play in conditions like this, but he's just been running all over the park.
Yeah, and in that position as well, in a so-called free role or just ahead of the defending or defensive midfielders, very difficult to pick him up as well.
Farid's interesting ball inside, had to be defended, and it was. Faisal Bezakwa always available again. That pass was cut out though. Intervention good enough from Faisal. It's Faisal Rafi. It's Tezuka again combining with Bezakwa, takes that contact and goes down for a free kick. Once again, he's covered every blade of grass at the Jurong East Stadium. We not even close to half-time yet.
Yeah, very dynamic player in the middle of the park. Always wants the ball, always offering himself.
Raihan Rahman to do the needful in terms of the clearance. Bezakwa this time gets back. Been a lot of those situations that we've had in this game. Good opening win for Geylang International against Lion City Sailors, spoiled by those 3 goals they conceded in the final 18 minutes. Went 162 minutes without conceding before 3 in 18 against Hougang. And I'm sure Noor Ali would remind them to watch in terms of being confident after an opening win. Last year they started the season with an opening win against Tanjong Pagar before not winning in their next 6. So the warning signs are there. I'd like to put that result against Hougang, which they actually dominated for much of the game. Is behind them as an anomaly and get right back into the mix against a Tanjong Pagar side, who, remember, are the only unbeaten team in the SPL.
And they're going to go for a 2 weeks break as well, the international break, and they don't want to go into the break on the back of a defeat, so good result is needed here.
Well, a little bit of improvised skill being shown there, but in the end, clearance was an easy one. Just hooked it away for Geylang, but still Tanjong Pagar deep inside enemy territory with a throw in their hands. Sharin Sabrin. It's gone very deep inside, looking for the run of Shukri. Fadli got past Sugic once, but not twice, but then got it back. And here is Tezuka on the ball for Geylang, much appreciated by the Eagle supporters. And Bezakor almost eviscerating that defense with that pass in between the lines, in between two players for Zuzul.
Well, there's great individual work there, firstly by Fadli Kamis, and then Tezuka playing the through ball. And Bezakor, how did he manage to just try to play that one through the middle of those two central defenders?
It's headed by Huzaifa. I think that he spotted Khairul there momentarily, but Khairul deserted that position to move forward. And Farid's getting it back from Nishiguchi and spanking it off Nishiguchi for a throw. Kind of sums up what we've seen in the first 45 minutes in terms of the fluency of the game, which hasn't been there. If anything, if any team has had any sort of a flow or rhythm, it has been the team on the ball right now. Geylang, especially this man, Tezuka, dropping it behind the defense. Another super ball to Khairul. He's found some room, but ran out of it after a heavy touch. But once again, what a pass that was from Takahiro Tezuka.
And I think Noalam Shah down this side on the touchline, just alluding to the fact that there's so much time given for Tezuka. And to be fair, that first touch from Khairul was a good one, but the second one, I think the defenders did well there. Couldn't keep it in play.
Amidst all the flurry and the frenzy that's going on in front of him, Tezuka still plays the game at his own pace, just walks through games. It's a sign of a classy player. I'm sure he expands more energy taking his dogs for a walk than he does a football match. The ball played in behind the defense, the flag goes up, and I think it's because Nishiguchi decided to get involved. If he had left it, you could see hands on the head of Akari Abdullah. If Nishiguchi had left it, Akari would have been in an onside position.
Yeah, and that is what Sugic can do. His range of passing, and he can pick a pass.
It's a little nip on the heel of Faisal. He's gone down injured. Sakuma, who's hardly been troubled in this game, and that is very good news. Fadli yet again abandoning his position to bomb forward to help out the attack as much as possible. He's almost taken a central role. Tezuka, ball was hit right at him. Fadli's not at his right fullback slot. Wonderful turn by Sugic first time out, but there was cover in the end. Nishiguchi sprinted to the left because Fadli had just gone forward. Well, the space opened up in front of Bezakor just for the moment. Khairul Hairi available. Him and Hazwan switching positions again. This is very clever from Sugic. Ball behind for Nishiguchi. Well, not his favorite foot, perhaps you could say. And tried to take it first time, but yet again it was Sugic who created everything.
Yeah, I don't think he caught it cleanly. Don't exactly know whether that was a shot or a cross, and looking for Shukri Bashe. He couldn't get there in time. You're right about Sugic there. 38 minutes gone.
Rio Sakuma inside to Faisal. Cairo thought he was fouled by Sharin. Referee says no. Tezuka. Saifan had to come out and use his head, literally. Here is Tezuka once again, really marshalling this midfield, dominating it and poning his opponents. It's going to be a free kick. That's as blatant a foul as you get. In fact, the Tanjong Pagar bench won a yellow card for Tezuka.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he doesn't get one there. It is so blatant. And I think, judging from the applause, he has gotten a yellow card there.
So yellow for Taka Tezuka.
He has been the best player on the pitch so far, at least in my opinion.
Well, that's a physical challenge by the man on the ball now. Certainly has sparked this game to life. Had very little to cheer about, to talk about so far. Late challenge coming in from Hazwan, not picked up by the referee. Shukri's turned well. Definitely meant to take it on in terms of a shot at goal. It's almost turned into a good cross. That was a cross, but it's given away by Huzaifa. Nishiguchi! What a save that was. Zaiful Nizam has rescued Huzaifa Aziz again. Well, gave the ball away needlessly in midfield, and then Nishiguchi, composed, almost walked this ball into the back of the net.
I tell you what, everybody had their hands up in the air. What a save. Great save from Zaiful Nizam there. Really saved Huzaifa. What was he doing with a flick on? I think it was a great play, wasn't it, from Nishiguchi?
Almost goal number 4 for the season for Rio Nishiguchi. Huzaifa, who gave away a penalty last week, of course, almost gave away the opening goal of the game and saw all the possession stats and the dominance his teammates in the opening stages come to naught. If that had gone in, his goalkeeper and captain rescued him. Sime Zuzul, look at the space that's opening up for the youngster, who's kept himself onside. He looked across the line and ensured that he stayed in the zone. Ooh. Immediately the hand went up. I believe it was Naufal who came in strong on Cairo Hairi to say, I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, to be fair to Cairo Hairi there, wasn't really much of a support up top. Again, good ball played forward to him in the first place. I'd like to see this again.
Shukri claimed that the ball came off Abdul Kaim. I think the referee agrees. Balestier found an equalizer against the Young Lions. That game also heading towards half-time, kicking off the same time as this match. Sugic trying to lead the Geylang defense on a merry-go-round, but in the end got himself dizzy in that situation, and the ball's gone out for a throw to the Eagles. Fadli, Sime Zuzul, almost the purest of touches to find Bezakor. Ricciotto. Raihan, once again trying to dip it behind the very adventurous Fadli Kamis. Sugic. Nishikawa has Akari on the outside, deciding to do everything by himself, almost towing it in space for Sugic. Opportunity for the breakaway now. Well, Khairul never really looked confident enough to take it on by himself. And all of a sudden, Tanjong Pagar have got players in the box. Very brave in the end by Abdul Qayyum. Not a lot of people would put their head onto that situation, but he did, and gave enough of a distraction then to ensure that Faisal Rafi didn't have the purest of strikes.
Oh, very brave indeed by Abdul Qayyum, you're right there. Faisal Rafi, don't think his first touch was good enough there. Just didn't sit up nicely for him. The ball just bounced up really high. Great defending from Abdul Qayyum there.
Just heard that there'll be one added minute to the end of this first half, which has been porous in terms of chances created, but we've had some excitement, especially at the end of the half. At least the woodwork's been hit already. And the tempo of the game hasn't really risen to levels we've come to expect us after the opening 3 weeks of the season. It does give rise, of course, to what might be a fascinating second half.
Both these sides will be happy going into halftime at 0-0, especially after conceding 3 goals apiece in their last game. So I wouldn't mind this result.
After 45 minutes, it seems as if Tanjong Pagar are still the only side who haven't lost. Might be a little too presumptuous saying that. Geylang will be the only side in the SPL who haven't conceded a first half goal. Simei Zuzul, well, he's found some room. Didn't pull the trigger. Faisal Fadli, I should say, a cross that was way too deep and way too much sugar behind it.
Yeah, in the end, poor outcome here. Ali Kami should have done better. Should have just drilled it low and hard. Instead, just pulled it out of play.
I can tell you that Balestier are 2-1 ahead of the Young Lions. So from a losing position as they were last week against Tanjong Pagar United, they are now in the lead.
Well, just do know that Balestier up top, the 3 Japanese players, they are good going forwards. They can score goals. It's at the back that they are vulnerable.
So the end of first 45 minutes where very few chances were created, and despite all the possession of Geylang International, their best chance came from a free kick by Tezuka, which was palmed away by Jalfan Rahaiza. The better chances fell to Tanjong Pagar United. Shukri's effort saved by Zaiful Nizam, who pulled off an even better save to prevent a shot from going in by Rio Nishiguchi by palming his effort onto the upright. Half-time here at the Jurong East Stadium. It is 0-0 between Tanjong Pagar and Geylang. what has been a very humid afternoon, evening here at the Jurong East Stadium. We haven't had much to talk about in terms of goal-scoring opportunities. Maybe one so far. As we have a look at the match stats, Geylang International with 6 shots against the 4 for Tanjong Pagar United, but Tanjong Pagar perhaps with the better opportunities from the 4 shots that they had. And you'd have to say, Shasi, that Geylang International probably shaded it in terms of possession, but Tanjong Pagar United have looked more dangerous when it comes to the offensive third.
Yeah, exactly. In general play, at least, I think Geylang International had the better of it in terms of possession, in terms of that play in the middle of the park, Tezuka taking control of the game. But chances-wise, yeah, Tanjong Pagar probably edged it, but yeah, has been scrappy.
This man, Bezakor, had a very good first half. He was very, very busy and had the best opportunities in the opening minutes for Geylang. This perhaps the best of the lots, just didn't sit down for him.
Yeah, good first touch, good reverse ball by Hazwan. But the challenge by Sugic there probably put him off. This was the turn and flick by Zuzul rather.
And then, of course, Akari had that clever break. Shukri decided to improvise. Good enough efforts, but not enough power to beat Zaiful.
Yeah, good cross, and Shukri just got ahead of his defender. And then with his outside of his right boot there, did well to put it on target. Zaiful easy in the end.
He's had to make a much more difficult save, which we'll see in a while. Sime Zuzul really hasn't had a lot of opportunities in this game, but he's created a few, especially for his flankers. That one fluffed by Hairi.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Tanjong Pagar has done well defensively, not really pushing on further forward. Good play here, very strong. And Hari will be very disappointed with that tame effort in the end.
Oh, this was their only shot on target in the first half. Good enough for a save by Shafan Rohaizat. Great technique though by Tezuka.
Yeah, you would want Tezuka or even Bezakor at the end of this free kick, but yeah, Zafan in the end did well to just palm it away.
He gambled by going across. Then Nishiguchi decided to come to life. That would have been some goal if that had gone in.
Yeah, set himself up very nicely. Real Nishiguchi. He has been in good scoring form this season. Very good shot, in fact. Zaiful was nowhere near it.
And then he had an even better chance after being presented by Huzaifa. Walked himself right through before being prevented by what was a splendid save in the end by Zaiful.
I tell you what, that was a world-class save, I gotta say. He got down very low on his left side. Great save from the skipper. Poor mistake here from Huzaifa again. And
perhaps a final chance that came the way of Faisal Rafi. This was brave, wasn't it, from Qayyim?
Very brave, but I think Faisal Rafi will be disappointed with his first touch there. Just couldn't put it down low. There, his first touch. Just couldn't sit up nicely for him.
So you'd have to say that chances being shaded at the moment by Tanjong Pagar United. It's still 0-0 here. 2-1. Balestier Khalsa had to come from behind Young Lion to take the lead in that match. And it's halftime there at the Tua Payoh Stadium. Remember the results yesterday? 1-1 on this ground between Albirex and Lion City Sailors, which means Albirex top of the table. If the result remains here between Tanjong Pagar and Geylang, well, TP United will climb right back to the top of the table again. Great win for Tampines Rovers by 7 goals to 1 in match week number 4 of the 2022 AIA Singapore Premier League. We'll be back to the Jurong East Stadium for second half action and hopefully a lot more goalmouth action for these fans to shout about and maybe cheer for. Well, before the start of the game, two managers talked about this being a scrap and how physical it's going to be in the middle of the pitch. And so far, those words have come true as Tanjong Pagar United and Geylang International failed to carve up really good goal-scoring chances, with the best of the lot falling the way of Rio Nishiguchi, whose effort was palmed onto the post by a very good save by Zaiful Nizam in between the sticks for Geylang International. So any chance we might get goal-scoring opportunities then in the second 45 minutes, Shasi?
I think so. You know, we spoke about the heat in the first half, and it's been very, very humid. And I think it will be a little bit better in terms of the intensity. I think both teams have got to raise their intensity. And for Geylang, I think they've got to get Bezakor more into the game, and obviously releasing Zuzul. As for the other side, they need to get Sugic more into the game, right? So, you know, they've got to really get these players, those players who are creative, into the game, and then hopefully the weather gets a little bit better in the second half, and obviously it will, and more goal mouth action.
Well, you mentioned those names. You'd have to say that the managers then have done their jobs, because
Yeah.
Zuzul hasn't really had an opportunity, not even a shot at goal. That means the Tanjong Pagar defense have kept a very close watch on him, and Sugic himself, which means that the Geylang defense and midfielders have kept very close watch on Sugic as well.
It helps because they have three men in the middle, in the middle of defense, so that probably helps them in a way to stop Zuzul, and that's where at the flanks and in the flank areas, I think they need to release these players.
Khairul Nizam about to come on. He scored on his debut. Went through some injury hit years playing against his former side, Khairul Nizam, and he comes on for Shukri Bashir, who was really running alongside Rio Nishiguchi up front and had first shot on target, but after that was pretty quiet. So Nizam comes on, and what a privilege, you'd have to say. At the same time, I mean, you got options like Khairul Nizam and Khairul Amri to call on from the bench. It's a much deeper squad this year for Tanjong Pagar.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Khairul Nizam will come in here and try to prove a point as well against his former side, Geylang, and probably scored as well. Khairul Nizam, when he came on the last game, easy goal for him, a tap in.
So otherwise, the same 11 that take to the pitch will take to the pitch again. You see the likes of Raihan Rahman and Farid Hamid paired up together. Who would have thought two players who made their names as fullbacks are playing as centre-backs for Tanjong Pagar? What do you make of that, those two fullbacks who've converted to centre-backs for Tanjong Pagar?
I think these two players are versatile, and Faris Ramid obviously have played in the fullback position, and he's played in the middle of the park as well, in a 4, but in the 3 as well. And, you know, I think when you're playing at the back, especially the right back, left back, I think they have this, the ability to be a little bit more... They can play anywhere, really, you know, along the back line, and that's what it has proven to be. Even Faisal Roslan for Geylang, he's usually a centre-back, but has played at right back, and today playing at left back as well.
So versatility very much a part of the game plan. Farid Hamid, you'd have to give him some props and credit as well. He's leading the side, and so often over the years he has been criticized by his managers for not having certain leadership values, but he is leading this side with the same sort of values that the managers have claimed he's lacked over the years. So in a lot of ways he's matured a lot now as captain of Tanjong Pagar United.
Let's not forget they've been Singh Shaki Hamza as well, out with an ACL injury.
So that's another player who will slot neatly into the preferred three at the back. Sakuma's touch just gave Nizam some interest in getting his first touch of the game, and released down the flanks, but the covering was very good by Ricciotto, who was reading that all the way through and knew exactly where that ball was going to be placed, so stepped in. Space opening up down this left-hand side then for Faisal Roslan. That's a cross. That's good communication, you'd have to say. Farid's just ducking and getting out of the way for Jafan to take control of the ball. Here is Khairul Nizam chasing after this. Faisal couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah, only just there, but he had to rush back after he crossed the ball in just earlier.
See at the bottom of your screen there, no Alam Shah, and then he's got Khairul Nizam coming on. In a lot of ways, when Nizam first burst onto the scene, that's who they compared his play to. Injuries very much have curtailed his career. Ricciotto not afraid to get into scraps, and he's got into one with Sime Zuzul, and there are some afters from the latest skirmish between the two.
Yeah, Zuzul not happy, but good to see both players shaking hands. Just get on with it.
And there won't be further punishment after this. Well, it was here that Zuzul wasn't happy, and right after this, that's the reaction. That's the referee brought it back for. Is it going to be a drop ball? Is it going to be a free kick? Well, he's asked Ricciotto to stay far away because the drop ball is going the way of Geylang. Or is it going to be a goal kick for Zaiful? Well, he's presented it to Zaiful. Faisal available. It's attacking him straight away. Onto it. Very well done was Naufal, who tried to keep that one alive after a very pacey ball that was put in his path from Ricciotto. He was happy enough that he took it off Ahmad Shakir. He too brought on at half-time for Khairul Khairi. Here is Sharin Sabrin. Nizam probably had a lot more time than he thought that he did, with Sakuma backing away from him. Zuzul trying to make a real nuisance of himself again against Sharin. A touch just behind Bezencourt. Shahir tried to take control of the ball. Here is Nishiguchi. He spotted Zaiful off his line momentarily. Had thoughts of a chip, but didn't want to. Now has been forced wide, very wide, and out.
Oh, that's superb defending there from the right back. Brilliant defending. Eyes always on the ball. Running out of space, Nishiguchi.
Helped out by Tezuka, who came back to support, and here is Tezuka on the ball. Abdel Kayem had to really watch the bounce of the ball as he put his laces through it. Zuzul was hoping that Hazwan would chase after this. It's gone all the way back to Jarfan, whose kicking had been questioned in that first half. Clearance had to be hit first time from Raihan. It was cleared. It is now officially cleared by Sharin Sabrin. It's Geylang trying to really find that same sort of cadence that they did in that first half. Was nice metronomic passing available in the opening 10 minutes. And then it all dissipated after Tanjong Pagar decided to make a real scrap out of it, especially in midfield. Farid's volleyed that one away only onto the head of Tezuka. Ricciotto again. Anytime there is a battle in midfield, he will be there. Faisal. Khairul Nizam does well. Khairul Nizam. Oh, the spin of the ball didn't do him any favors. The ball had gone out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, both sets of players just finding it difficult to keep the ball under control. Yeah, a couple of bounces there. And there, just couldn't keep control of the ball, running out of space as well.
And you could see his eyes lit up, and he was about to take that one first time until the spin of the ball actually took it closer to his body than he wanted. He couldn't pull the trigger. Here's Zuzul. He judged the bounce well, kept it superbly. Tezuka knows the space on the outside for Fadli Kamis. He was given loads of room to move forward in the first 45 minutes. Oh, that ball was a clever one by Bezacourt, flicked it inside to Zuzul, who thought that he had a runner behind him, so left it.
Yeah, Bezakor just wanting a runner to go past the striker. Wasn't coming. Finally Kamis and Hazwan not on the same wavelength.
So 7 minutes played in this second half, and we've had more of the same from the first 45. Spillage in terms of the scrap. Hasn't been pretty. But, nothing like a goal to solve the situation. Nishiguchi. Oh, out to high boots. Khairul Nizam certainly made the most out of it, and Kaim's letting the referee know, but the free kick has been given.
Don't know about the high boot, but probably a contact on the player himself. There, just on the right sole of Khairul Nizam.
It was also how spectacular he went down as well, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
convinced the referee to blow his whistle.
Learned it from his brother.
And now we saw a free kick on target, bang on target for Geylang International in the first half from a similar distance, but a different angle, a different position. Yeah, this one suits a right footer. Nishiguchi is showing some interest here. And it will be the Japanese who will take this one. Nishiguchi drilled it low. Was finding the bottom corner. That Zaiful Nizam was always favoured to get there, and get there he did.
Yeah, he was scrambling to his left there. Good effort down low, the bounce as well. Good effort.
Well, there was a teammate on the wall protecting and then opening himself up to invite that gap to be shot into, which Nishiguchi took advantage of. Positioning of Zaiful was A1. Just had to deal with that wicked bounce. It's a corner to Tanjong Pagar now. Raihan Rahman drill that one. It's not cleared. They've worked the 1-2 well enough. My goodness, that would have been some goal if that had gone in.
Well, he has been on fire on the goals front. It was nicely done here. The 1-2. Really done. Great effort there with his left foot, first time effort.
Coaches love to see that when two strikers combine this way. Gives them a lot of optimism heading into the other matches. Talk about great hold-up play. How about that from Sime Zuzul, who's battling for position right now against Richuoto and almost fell towards him after that touch from Farid Hamid.
I tell you what, Farid had to get it right there. Shair did very well to put the ball into the penalty area. And a man lurking behind him.
That was Sime Zuzul at his very best, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Holding the ball up and then freeing up a flanker. So almost every time he gets the ball, even when he was playing for Balestier last year, you just need runners around him. And he will find you. The big issue now is, can they find him in the box, especially where he's been starved of goal-scoring opportunities. Hazwan kept that one alive. One to the header back from Fadli. Wasn't coming. Opportunity for them to build it all over again. Huzaifa's ball on the outside. It's a very good one. Bezakor couldn't get past his opponent. And the ball does come off him for a throw to Tanjong Pagar. Well, you'd have to say that Geylang have shown a lot more resilience this year in terms of defending. Organisation a lot better. I'm talking about the worst defensive side in the league last year. And here they are holding very firm. Without a goal conceded in all 3 matches of theirs in the first 45 minutes. That's a disappointing ball by Huzaifa, especially with the runner on the outside in Faisal Roslan.
Yeah, I think he tried to pick Ahmad Shai. He's fast, but not that fast. Poor ball in the end.
Jafan just looking to launch one long, knowing that Khairul Nizam's going to battle and probably win most of the aerial duels. Lost that one, but has won the throw. Not a lot of people get past him in the air, Sakuma. Sharin just making sure that he shielded the ball and then gave it away. Ahmad Shahir, but it's a very good work yet again from Sharin to atone for his own error. The ball just dipping over Nishiguchi. Abdul Qayyum was very alert to the situation. Sugic, probably the quietest game that he's had so far. In all his previous 3 appearances, he always factored in one way or the other. Huzaifa. Tezuka yet again strolling and finding a teammate that had gone into an offside position. That's why Bezakor's decided to delay his pass and frees up Faisal Roslan on the outside. Zuzul's at the far post waiting for a good delivery, which never came, but it almost turned into a goal. Zafan somehow managing to claw it out, and Ahmad Shahir could have profited from it and put it into the back of the net. Well, it was fortuitous in the end, and it almost resulted in the opening goal of the game.
It was a mistake right from Faisal Roslan. Zafan there was struggling. In the end, just couldn't put the ball into the net here. This was the attempted cross. Tell you what, Zafan did well there. Push it against the bar.
Ahmad Shahir went storming in. Oh, referee's given the free kick the other way. Both players have gone down injured. Physios are needed. Shahir has just been introduced to the game at half-time, and that was a barnstorming challenge, you'd have to say, from Sharin Sabrin.
Tell you what, that was a great tackle. It wasn't a foul by Ahmad Shahir.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul at all either way. It should have been a throw-in. But it might be more danger here because it was actually the impact of the landing on Sharin, on the very diminutive Ahmed Shahir, who's not the biggest of lads, and he's totally winded by it.
And Sharin Shabirin there had to get that tackle right, had to get the ball first, because anything else would have resulted in a penalty.
Yeah, the Geylang fans have a lot to cheer about in 2022 so far. Definitely the Tanjong Pagar fans who can go back to the top of the table if a result remains as it is. But they're hoping to stretch it to 3 points. Balestier, well, we did say that they are a team who are vulnerable defensively, and they have conceded once again against the Young Lions. Conceded the opening goal, came back to lead 2-1, and now it's 2-2 in that match. Zulkarnain Suzliman getting his first goal for the Young Lions.
And, doesn't look great for Sharin Sabirin. I think it was the landing. Ahmad Shahir looks okay. Good news for Geylang.
Sharin's struggled with injuries over the last couple of years, and you'd hate to see it happening to him again, but he took a knock earlier on against Sime Zuzul, shook that one off after 10 minutes, came back on the pitch. He's played well so far, been very secured at the back. But this doesn't look good for him, where he's clutching, how he's wincing, and where this has ended up with him on the stretcher. You just hope that it's not a long-term one. He took one for the team, that's for sure.
Yeah, great tackle, gotta say.
And because of him, this man didn't have to work.
And he's been told to kick the ball out of play.
I think it's for them to make the substitutions, perhaps. Well, they're still treating Sharin, so might be Hasrin and Noor Alam Shah giving some time for Sharin to see whether he can continue still. But at the moment, Ricciotto has decided to take his place at centre-back to ensure there's cover there. They have defended very stoutly, and they have been very obdurate against those balls that are being flung behind them from Geylang throughout this game for Sime Zuzul, ensuring that Zuzul hasn't had a shot at all after 61 minutes. Bezakor trying to find one behind the defence, but Ricciotto is there now. Faisal's touch took it away from him, and it's the other Faisal Rafi, who's won the ball back. It's a horrible bounce. Abdul Qayyum couldn't deal with it, and the opening goal goes to Ryo Nishiguchi. The striker in form scores his 4th of the season.
Out of nothing as well, down by one player. Just a nothing ball played forward. And Abdul Qayyum here just misjudged the bounce of the ball. Ryo Nishiguchi, we said it before this, in great goal-scoring form. Nicely taken. Never going to miss from there. Just slotted it past the goalkeeper to make it 1-0.
Well, it's the same combo again, isn't it? That first match against Abrex Nagata. Sugic to Nishiguchi. 2 goals in that game. That came that way. And another in this game from Sugic to Nishiguchi. And the two of them embrace one another. They've fallen in love very early on at the start of the season, and Nishiguchi has profited with his 4th already. And Tanjong Pagar United, remember, have never won back-to-back games against Geylang International in the Singapore Premier League, are now in firm control of this one, with 27 minutes remaining to hang on to it and achieve that feat for the first time.
Well, this game probably needed that goal. Hopefully Geylang can come out now a little bit more.
Khairul Nizam, that ball totally misjudged by Huzaifa, who came in to try to win it, but just got a piece of Nizam.
It was a good turn.
Faris Fahan, I believe, ready to come on, and it's for Huzaifa. Well, it feels as if that there will be another tactical change here with Ahmad Shahir probably playing in central midfield, and Faris Fahan bombing forward, paroling down the flanks. Scored the winning goal between these two sides when they met each other in 2020. The challenge came in very late, but fairly, says the referee. And they've put it out of play so that the Tanjong Pagar player can receive treatment. It's now foul, Ilham.
It was a strong challenge from Faisal, but a fair one.
If this result remains, Shasi, you'd have to say it's a big achievement for Tanjong Pagar, because they've done it without Shorai Nishikawa, who's out with COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, you forgot to mention him as well. He has been very instrumental down the flanks.
Kuraba Kondo scored his 2nd in that game. Balestier and Young Lions 3-2. Well, we expected the goals to come from that game, seeing how both those defenses have fared this year. And they have lived up to form with 5 already in that. Just the one for these fans to cherish in this one. It came about after the pitch misbehaved on Abdul Qayyum and Nishiguchi. It still had to be finished. If you wanted anyone finishing it one-on-one with a goalkeeper, it had to be Nishiguchi, the league's leading scorer. Ball's played in behind the defence for Faris to chase, but it's Farid who gets ahead of him. Here's Faris back to Bezakort. Sime Zuzul's taken up a very good position here. He totally just misjudged the flight of the ball and didn't get the contact he wanted with the header.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed with this effort there. The ball, finally just a glimpse of the goal in front of him. Good ball in. Yeah, just misjudged, mistimed it.
Well, those were the crosses that was lacking in the first half for Sime Zuzul. Goalkeeper's come way off his line. The chip was on. It had to be a very astute finish. And a cheeky one from Khairul Nizam.
Yeah,
Couldn't execute it.
the cross was on for Niko Sugic there, who had made that run into the box and left disappointed in the end.
Tezuka didn't really quite appreciate that pass from Zeifel, but he made something out of it. Sakuma. Well, Eagles have come out and shown some character in trying to rescue the situation instead of feeling sorry for themselves. Bezakor decided to rise up more like a phoenix than an eagle out of the ashes to get himself involved in this game. There will be a yellow card for Tanjong Pagar now after another very enterprising run by Geylang's number 10.
Yeah, I think the yellow card was given to Faisal Rafi. That chased Bezakor all the way. A couple of fouls in the process. Finally given.
Third yellow dished out to a Jaguar. Take your pick. One for pushing, the other one for tripping. Well, those crosses for Sime Zuzu were lacking in the first half, and maybe because of that he's been rusty. But that was a chance, and here's another opportunity to swing one in now for the head of the third highest scorer in the SPL last year. Confirmation that Faisal is the latest to go into the books as Bezakor takes this free kick. Ricciotto hits that one away. It's a disappointing effort in the end with a spinning ball fooling Faisal Roslan.
Yeah, quality lacking there, and with Faris Farhan coming on, I think they've just switched it up to a typical 4-4-2 with Sime Zuzul and Farhan up top.
Well, let's see if that'll give Zuzul a bit more freedom than he's had in this game with someone running off him. Kaim this time deciding to attack the ball instead of allowing it to bounce. So once again, the bounce almost favoring Nishiguchi. Couldn't make something out of it that time. And Faisal had to backtrack. Tezuka faced by Faisal, who had to watch his challenge now that he's in the referee's bad books. Tezuka. That's a delightful ball that's played in just behind the defense. The challenge was on. He had every right to go for it. Great work by the referee to allow it to play on. Sime Zuzul trying to create a goal-scoring opportunity all by himself. Cleared by Tanjong Pagar. An opportunity for them to come right back, of course, with that long searching ball. Cleared by Zeiful Nizam. And the goals just open things up now.
Yeah, you're right. Needed that goal, and Geylang, they have to push players forward, try to get that equalizing goal.
Bezakor curling it around. It's onside. You look towards the referee, who didn't signal anything. Faris Farhan looking for the space for the cross. Does the next best thing, which is to win the corner.
Yeah, intelligent ball from Bezakor, looking for the run of Faris Farhan.
It wasn't the corner, it had actually gone out for a throw. Quickly taken by Bezakor. It's a drilled one. This time he finds Faris Farhan, but not the way he wanted to. He was happy to take that free kick. Once again, Faisal Rafi.
Gotta be really careful, Faisal Rafi here. Especially against a player like Bezakor.
Might be time for a substitution then from Hasrin Jailani, seeing how Faisal's struggled a little bit over the last 10 minutes to cope with Bezakor. The last thing he wants to go 10 men against Geylang in the final stages, trying to protect this lead. It's a lead they need to protect from this latest free kick situation. Tezuka, delivery was good. Oh, the far post, which was ball had already gone out before Kaim decided to try to rescue it.
Yeah, Kaim trying to make amends for his mistake earlier on. That last touch from Masakuma, I think.
It's been resolute so far from Tanjong Pagar United. that win against Albirex in that first game. I know a lot of people say it's a marathon, not a sprint, but sometimes those first games, it won't break your season, but it can make a season.
Exactly, it's momentum as well, especially for a team lacking in depth like Tanjong Pagar. You need to get those points, need to get those wins.
It's not just a win, but also the opponents they beat. That day when Albirex, one of the highest scoring sides over the last decade in the SPL, couldn't put a goal past you. It just gives you the confidence that you have a strong enough backline to keep out any side if you are on song in the game and are interested in defending. Shahir back to Sakuma. Disappointing ball from Rio Sakuma.
Yeah, overplayed that. Looking for the far side.
It's Rio versus Rio and today, and it's the Rio in red. Nishiguchi was leading by a goal to nil with his goal, deciding to attack Kaim more than he has Sakuma. Sugic wins another header. Ball doesn't get back to him. Kaim had to win it before Nizam, who pulled out of that challenge. Faisal, Bezakor. Needed a lot more elevation behind it, but what a clever header that was by Sugic, who knew exactly where Nishiguchi was. Nishiguchi on another rampaging run. Khairul Nizam back to Nishiguchi. Flashy. Whether it was needed, we'll see if there's an end product from this. Oh, it's a beautiful ball that's played inside, and it almost frees up a tap in then. That's great work by Nishiguchi to free up a teammate. Nothing came out of it. Geylang have an opportunity with Faris Fahan just running a lone trail all by himself. Bezakor has decided to leave it. Oh, it's come off the upright. It's gone into the back of the net, and Geylang are right back into this. Hazwan has scored his first goal for Geylang International against Tanjong Pagar, and it came about after Tanjong Pagar had an opportunity to go 2-0 up with a tap in at the near post. They didn't take full advantage of it, and this man just ran the length of the pitch to set it up.
Wow, what a goal. It was a great goal. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant, but you got to say this run from Faris Farhan opened everything up, because Zuzul was asking for the ball for the longest of time. He didn't get it. This was nicely done from Hazwan. And you're right, Mark. It all came from, the defense, where I think Khairul Nizam should have done better with his finish.
Balestier top scorer alongside Sime Zuzul. In a couple of years when he was playing for them, both of them decided to make that switch to Geylang this year. In the last game, he created one for Sime Zuzul to score his opening goal, and here he is, Sime Zuzul leaving the ball for him to score his opening goal for Geylang International. But it was a cute finish. Opened his body up and just swung it over the goalkeeper to the far post. And from out of nowhere, Geylang International, having struggled so much for goal-scoring opportunities in the second half, have found a way back into this game. It says a lot about the character of the side. Abdul Qayyum, this time getting to the ball before Khairul Nizam.
And he will sire relieve that, Abdul Qayyum, after that mistake.
Well, it'll be Khairul Nizam's turn now to prove something. It's a lovely ball that's played in behind the defense. Ahmad Shahir. Referees decided to play it on. That's a poor ball by Bezakor. He had that opportunity to take that strike on, Shasi.
Yeah, why didn't he? He knew what he was trying to do. Just tried to play that cute ball, looking for the run of Zuzul. There you go, on the right-hand side, but should have taken a shot on his own. Bezakor.
Zuzul's almost flung his arms as well to say, why didn't you shoot? He certainly has that in his arsenal. Its ability to really hammer a rocket, as we saw in that opening game against Lion City Sailors. Well, it's set up a very intriguing last 15 minutes. The game needed a goal. We had one, and now we had two in the space of 10. all set up for a victor. Hazwan, I'm sure confidence sky high after that goal. Tried to keep it alive after a challenger came in from Farid. Hazwan's gone down injured. Bezakor finding some room behind the defense. They've got to carve up the opportunity all by himself, though. Still Bezakor wins the corner.
Hazwan not there to support him. He's down with cramps more than anything else. Bezakor wants to take it quickly.
You can tell that he is a player who will benefit from the tutelage of Noor Ali. In a lot of ways, he does play like Noor Ali in Noor Ali's prime, doesn't he, Shasi?
Yeah, he plays in that same position as well, out wide, and can score goals as well. Noor Ali used to score goals. Loads of energy as well.
That little pat on the back he got from his manager after scoring says it all. That chemistry that they've built up at this early stage of the season. Noor Ali himself has said, I remember the first match against Lion City Sailors, that he's so looking forward to this season because it feels as if it's his first season with Geylang with a new set of players who are playing together as a unit, and they have shown that character and the resilience by coming back from a goal down to actually tie this game up.
Yeah, you're very right, especially going down, and don't think they deserve to be down as well. You know, I think it has been even, and well done to them.
Might get even better from this corner. Bezakor, who's delivered peaches, is taking this. Khairul Nizam's been told to move further forward in case there's a clearance and he can chase it down. So he traipses out of our screens. That's the highlight, of course, will be Simei Zuzul in the box, who has found some space away from the defense. And this ball's headed towards Zuzul. It's taken away from him. Zuzul almost rescuing the situation. It last came off a Tanjong Pagar boot. It's going to be another corner. This time Tezuka moves forward to take it.
Yeah, putting the pressure on. Good pressure from Geylang, especially after scoring that equalizing goal. But they got to be careful from this corner. Funny we're talking about that, because from the counter-attack, Khairul Nizam can do damage.
Yep, Tanjong Pagar were supposed to make a replacement, but they've decided to let this corner pass before bringing their sub on. The corner has passed, and it'll be a throw to Geylang, who want to take it quickly. Momentum on their side, trying to keep the impetus alive, but Tanjong Pagar will take as much time as possible to try to destroy that rhythm of theirs. But it looks like he is okay. Tezuka, time to measure. And that is a very good cross. Two players attacking this. There's a head injury, so the physio's called upon as well.
Yeah, it was a clash of heads from that cross from Tezuka. I think Fadli Khan is going for the header, entitled to go for that one. Brave defending. He had to go up for the header. There you go. Great header, I gotta say, from the Balestier defender. I think it was Akari.
Yep. Akari Abdullah, you're absolutely right. So another change. Fatullah, a lot of people were surprised, did not play from the start. Fatullah Rahmat, who had a starring role in the second half of last season. And a very promising youngster in the Tanjong Pagar ranks, does come on for the final 10 minutes in place of Naufal Ilham.
Yeah, another player who can play in a couple of positions. Played as a centre-back in the first game as well. Can play in the middle of the park. A young player.
Abdul Qayyum, oh boy, he hates these bouncing balls. Already defeated by one. And on a hot day, this synthetic turf can actually throw up very difficult bounces for you to deal with. That was comfortable enough for him as Ricciotto takes that quickly. Fatullah's first touch is to play a ball inside. Khairul Nizam has found a teammate. Fatullah back to Khairul Nizam. Fatullah's showed the way and wants the ball back to him. Khairul Nizam, an opportunity to take that shot on. still has the ball. Went for the spectacular. Tanjong Pagar won the free kick, but the referee says I played advantage. So Sime Zuzul sprinting away with this one. Showing some pace in him, Sime Zuzul. Raihan Rahman with the ball. Couldn't get past Sime Zuzul. That's great covering. Very good covering. And necessary as well. Well, Khairul Nizam saying that I'm not interested in that. You shouldn't have flagged, but the assistant referee's flagged still does go up.
Yeah, and the referee stopped play because of the injury there. He wanted a foul, not given. I don't think it was a foul in the first place. But just going back to the earlier chance, I think Faris needed to get there, needed to get the tackle right. Did ever so well.
Well, he took a blow in his own penalty box, and here he is, almost in his opponent's penalty box, taking another ball. Akari hasn't scored in the Singapore Premier League since scoring against Geylang back in 2015. It's 89 matches. Nasrin Jailani wants to have a chat with the referee, and he's not happy. Both him and Noah Alam Shah have been up on their feet in the last couple of occasions already. He's got to watch. Staff need to get him away from this. Don't want any further punishment.
Yeah, they need to calm down a little. They're just not happy with the decision before that. I think they wanted a foul on Akari.
The crowd wanted that as well. Hasrin continues his protest. Well, usually you need a general manager to calm you down in those situations, but the problem there is that Noah Alam Shah is a general manager and he loves to get involved in these situations as well. So what gives for Tanjong Pagar?
The problem is all three general managers are not calm.
Well, sometimes those are the situations that light a fuse in the players. So let's see if they can respond. 7 minutes remaining. What was a game that was bereft of opportunities and chances has turned into what could be a dramatic end to a football match. Sakuma, Tezuka. Two Japanese combining to try to bring this ball out of their own half. Abdul Qaim wanted too much time, way too much time. Judged the bounce of the ball well this time to know that it was running his way and spinning his way. It's gone out for a throw to Geylang.
Yeah, Abdul Qaim just need to keep it simple here in the last 6 minutes or so of this game.
Bezakor running away from the defense, showing the way. Ricciotto, though, spotted that run from a mile. Substitution coming up this time. It's Geylang bringing Ilhan Noor for Hazwan Halim, hero and the scorer of the equaliser. Ilhan, of course, one of those under-23 players who did extremely well for them last year.
Yeah, probably a one-for-one change. The coach's son, Ilhan, who can play it right back as well, probably will just sit in there in front of Fadli Khamis.
2 goals last season, of course, for Ilhan. It's a throw for Tanjong Pagar, hoping to finish this strong. Bezakor chasing after this. Faisal Rafi had the ball nipped away from him. They've allowed it to run. Bezakor has allowed it to go all the way through to Faris. The first touch a little heavy. And in the end, the shot took a nick on the way to the goalkeeper, Jarfan.
Yeah, wasn't convincing from Faris there. This was a good ball, just threaded in. Actually looking for the run of Bezakor. There you go. Wasn't really convincing, his cross.
Sugic has decided to come out and play. Here is Mirko Sugic, chased down by 2, still managing to use that big frame of his to keep the ball. Watchful defending in the end from Faisal Roslan. Communication was good by Zaiful to ask Abdul Qaim to leave.
I think Faisal Roslan has done very well today, positioning-wise as well as a left-back. Just tucking in whenever necessary. Got that interception absolutely right.
Zaiful has got the aforementioned Faisal available down the flanks. Chased down very quickly by Farid. Ball's gotten away from Fariz. Referees played the advantage. Here is Farid in his more familiar role, trying to swing crosses in. It's found its way through, and a feeble effort in the end, easily picked up by Zaiful.
It was a good advantage played from the referee. And then Bezakor did very well to close the man on the ball.
Well, Zaiful had kicked the ball out, presumably for some treatment to be given for Faisal Rafi, not knowing that he had already picked himself up. Tanjong Pagar not going to give the ball back. Fatula does well over one. That's really good work by Fatula. Not a bad ball as well. At least the idea was there, not the execution. (4-2) for Balestier. Hoshino scoring. Surely now they'll get their first win of the season. Tezuka just offside. Ilhan.
Yeah, Ilhan there would be very disappointed with that. Last man can see the line, just failed to keep himself onside.
So 2.5 minutes remain, plus whatever time the referee decides to add on. Zafan. Long. Qayyim wins the header. Trying to find some space for Ilhan, but covering was good in the end by Raihan.
A good turn of pace from Raihan. Ilhan as well. Loads of pace, energy as well.
Bezakor's cross was charged down. Zuzul's not going to chase and leave this one. Faisal decided to duck, thinking that Sakuma is going to take over, but he had company in the form of Khairul Nizam. Ahmad Shahir making a nuisance of himself and winning a throw from almost nothing. Tezuka, clever ball, clipped into space behind the back line, but just a little bit too much juice for Bezakor.
Yeah, slightly overplayed and very difficult to get it right on this pitch here, especially if the ball just bounces in front of you.
And Farid Hamid has been told to bomb forward and play in a more advanced role, which he's more than happy to do so. Chasing down every loose ball. Ricciotto's gone into the back three now. And, pass straight at Qayyim, was more than happy to clear it first time. Referee has played on. Here is Sime Zuzul. Back to goal, trying to tee it up for Tezuka. Well watched by Sugic. So closing in on full time. It's a ball given away needlessly. Faisal, Sugic. Loads of room for Khairul Nizam. Khairul trying to make himself a hero, finds Fatula. Still the challenges don't come in. See what the idea was. Sugic was in space. Farid, though, the ball was traveling away from him. 3 added minutes. Look at the defense on both sides. They're really opened up here. Someone's going to win this, surely. Oh, not with quality like this in the end.
Yeah, it's end-to-end now. Space is opening up. Both teams surprisingly trying to go for the winner.
Jafan hits that one long. It's really good work by Faisal Roslan. Great awareness from him. He knew exactly where he was going to hit that one down to. Bezakor. Faisal's continued his run down the left-hand side. Ilhan Fandi's just scored for the Young Lions. Balestier just don't want to defend, I guess. Not don't know, but don't want to. They're going for more goals. It's fun watching Balestier if you're a neutral this season. Tezuka. Geylang trying to control matters, trying to take it for the final shot of the game. Here is Tezuka. Bears a course side by side with him. Sime Zuzul now. Ilhan. It's not a bad ball inside. Emmerich was there to clear it. And kept alive. Faisal all the way back to Tezuka. Got to build it all over again, but there are players in the box waiting for a good delivery. Tezuka trying to open the angle up. Took too long to deliver the cross and has lost possession of the ball. Tezuka looks like he's run his jewels to the ground. Can't chase after this. It's Khairul Nizam. What can he do one-on-one with Sakuma? Khairul Nizam trying to go wide, trying to go inside. Lost possession of the ball, but somehow it's kept alive by Nishiguchi. Prevented from taking that shot. Good enough defending, you'd have to say. It's a corner, though, to Tanjong Pagar.
Yeah, and I think Sugic will be disappointed. He was free. You can see just after his that, just behind him. All he needed to do was just backheel the ball for Sugic. Easier said than done, but
Sugic remains in the box. He will be their prime target. Surely one of the final chances in this game. They will take their time with this. Is there going to be a substitution still? They're not going to make it, at least not for now. Raihan Rahman, who takes the corners from this right-hand side, has moved forward to try to pick out Sugic in the box. Nishiguchi is also very good in the air, hunting. Zuzul standing in front of Zaiful Nizam, trying to head any of these spearing crosses away from goal. He's been committed to the man at the near post, so the big man is no more in there. Khairul Nizam wants it short. Sime Zuzul encroaching. Gets a yellow card. He's still encroaching. Well, it's the last kick of the game. It's the last chance. I don't know why they want to take this short. Shasi?
yeah. Unless they're happy with this draw, but it's a chance for them to nick one.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Ricciotto, Sugic just looking at their teammates and saying, what was that for? We were in the box. We were waiting for it.
Especially so when you've got all your players pushed up for the corner.
Yeah. And then inquest is going on now. Ricciotto is just looking at his teammates and wondering why that was done that way. Was there a signal that came from the bench? But they had the chance to win it later on, Tanjong Pagar United. In the end, it's 1-1 with Geylang International. It means they climb back to the top of the table. It means they remain unbeaten at the start of this 2022 AIA Singapore Premier League. Rio Nishiguchi got the goal scoring underway after 63 minutes. 11 minutes later, Hazwan Halim with an equaliser for Geylang International, which came to life very late on, but then brought us a very dramatic end where we did not have a winner, but at least the shares were spoiled this time out. As we have a look at highlights of this game, and it all started with Shukri having that opening strike saved by Zaiful, who had a very handful first half.
Yeah, good work from the left-hand side. Akari with a cross, and then Shukri did well to get his right foot to the ball first, flicked it out, and Zaiful Nizam easy save in the end.
Of course, Jafan had to get his gloves dirty as well, and he did with that save from Tezuka, who had an outstanding first half, but faded a bit in the second.
Exactly, and Tezuka, good effort here. And you talk about fading away, you can see the last moments there, struggling.
Nishiguchi was definitely bound to bring himself to the forefront with his goal-scoring exploits last year. It took him a while before he took that first shot on, and he moved closer and closer to the target.
Yeah, always going to be dangerous, this man, Rio Nishiguchi. Good effort.
And then the save of the match, from Zaiful Nizam.
Yeah, save of the match, and could be the save of the season so far, at least for now. Great save after a mistake from Hazwan, or rather, Hazwan, Huzaifa, with that flick on with the left foot. Great work from Nishiguchi. He thought he'd scored. Great save.
So that was the first half action. The second 45 minutes, they pressed on. Zaiful with another save. This one more straightforward from the same man, Nishiguchi. So the two of them with a personal battle going on.
Yeah, if you think someone deserves a goal, and that is the man, Ryo Nishiguchi, always dangerous. And Zaiful did well to shift his legs.
And then the 1-2 that was worked between Nishiguchi and Khairul Nizam was a real treat. Just not the finish, though.
Yeah, nicely done, and I think he sliced it with his left foot. Good effort. Had to take it first time, had to take it early. Good give and go with the substitute, Khairul Nizam.
Well, he never hung his shape. And he never hung his head and put it in the ground. He continued trying, and he was going to get his reward soon, but not before Geylang gave them a couple of scares, including that one. Surely he was not attempting that, Shasi.
Yeah, he definitely was lucky there. Attempted a cross. Ended up as a shot. Zafran did well, you got to say. He had to shift his body quickly. Right hand to the ball.
And he was happy that was the figure of Shahir. That was at the end of it. This bounce really defeated Qayyim, and one-on-one this time with Zaiful. He was not going to be denied his goal, his fourth of the season and the opening goal of this game.
Yeah, Abil, all sorts of trouble there. Feel sorry for him. The bounce, no way to get to this one before the bounce, and then Nishiguchi did ever so well to get there, and then calmly slotting it past Zaiful Nizam.
It's just the right amount of backspin from that lofted ball by Sugic, and on this pitch the backspin's almost exacerbated. Nishiguchi took full advantage of it. Still had to be finished, and you'd have to say that was composed.
Very much so.
Well, we couldn't see the chance that Khairul Nizam had preceding this, but it gave way to the counter-attack from Geylang. And how about this for a finish? Just as accomplished, just as good from Hazwan Halim.
You got to give credit to Faris Farhan that ran almost the length of the pitch, and then had that composure to actually play it on for this man here. First time effort, great finish, especially if it comes off the post. It looks nicer.
And Faris, it was who had scored this fixture before, this time a turning provider. And Hazwan, former Tanjong Pagar player himself, putting one against his previous club. And that is the end of the scoring. 1-1. A fair result, Shasi?
Definitely so, and I think Tanjong Pagar scored against the run of play in a very much a scrappy game, but then did ever so well, Geylang to come back, and then that finish from Hazwan. In the end, you talk about going into the break, a mini break with Tanjong Pagar top of the league. Who would expect it? And great result for them.
Yeah, they take it hands down, of course, before the start of the season, and that final results coming through as well from the Toa Payoh Stadium, where Balestier Khalsa have won their first match of the season against the Young Lions. A topsy-turvy affair where they were trailing 1-0, they were leading 2-1, then it was 2-all, and then it was 4-2 and 4-3 in the end of the scoring right there at the Toa Payoh Stadium. Balestier Khalsa have been scoring and conceding for fun, as we have a look at the standings, which has Tanjong Pagar United back at the top of the table, just by a point over Albirex Nagata and Lion City Sailors, who drew last night in this same very ground by a 1 apiece. And it's the same scoreline as well between Tanjong Pagar and Geylang, who've now ticked the boxes of the win, draw, loss columns after 3 matches. So after the international break, on the 1st of April, we'll come back with a match between Hougang United and Albirex Nagata. Lion City Sailors hoping to pile on more misery on Balestier Khalsa in terms of the goals against front here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. Geylang International take on Tampines Rovers, while the Young Lions face up against league leaders Tanjong Pagar United. Leading after match week number 4, who would have thought? Well, it is certainly that way. After a 1-1 draw against Geylang International puts them 1 point clear of last year's second and first place teams, Albirex Nagata and Lion City Sailors. From the Jurong Stadium, we bid you good evening.